Hello, friends. On this glorious day in drink history, we catch up with a bartender who is currently traveling the world on a drink-inspired adventure of the highest order. Shaher Misif is a bartender who made his name in San Francisco before moving to Boston and ultimately becoming a vagabond on the open road. But ladies and gentlemen, geography has very little to do with defining this inspired gentleman. If I'm trying to sum it up in one word, I'll go ahead and use two: excitement and enthusiasm. And if you've shared a drink with this guy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like the time he and I almost got deported from Italy because we had so much excitement and enthusiasm. Oh yes, he is the real deal. And more importantly, he is a tremendously talented bartender who has already done a ton in his career with so much more awesomeness certain to come. Let's do this. This episode of the Educational Drinking Show is sponsored by the Anchor Distilling Company Tasting Room. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in 23 years, Anchor Distilling Company has opened its doors to the public, and you can go to the iconic distillery on Potrero Hill in San Francisco for an intimate, in-depth tasting of Anchor spirits on the roof of the building. It's as amazing as it sounds, and it's a very popular experience, so advance reservations are required. Reserve your spot today at www.anchordistilling.com. Good stuff. And now it's my great pleasure to share with you my interview with Shaher Misif. I want to start with the ducky because I always know when I've just missed you because there's this trail of little rubber duckies in your wake.
It's a trap.
Where did the ducky start?
Well, it started here in NOLA, actually.
Really?
At Tails. It was at Rose all day. And, we're all sitting out and dipping our feet in little kiddie pools. And there was rubber duckies everywhere. And then they just happened to fall into our rosé. So then, with all the seriousness in the cocktail world and stuff like that, I was like, you know what, man? And mind you, this is 2 bottles deep of rosé. I was like, you know what, man? I was like, whatever it is I'm doing next, I'm putting Ducky Rosé on the menu. I don't care what it is.
Whoa.
So we did it, and it was more to be very lighthearted in this like serious cocktail world, you know.
Yeah.
Still deliver good cocktails and stuff, but I wanted one cocktail to at least be Ducky Rosé.
Yeah.
Just to play around and stuff. And besides, who doesn't love duckies?
So, how many duckies have you adopted?
Oh man.
All in.
I haven't adopted any. They've actually adopted me.
They've adopted you.
Absolutely. I don't know the exact number, but we tied the duckies to charity.
Yeah.
So all the Ducky Rosés we sell and all the duckies that we sell in cocktails are now tied with charity. So every single one of them is helpful.
And how many countries around the world have you deposited duckies in?
Man, I want at least 12.
At least 12.
At least 12 countries.
That's impressive. It's very impressive.
They're worldwide, man.
So where did you start bartending?
In San Francisco.
Do you consider yourself a San Francisco guy at heart?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Everywhere I go.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's my city, man.
When did you start bartending?
Man. Well, I'm terrible with math, but I want to say it's coming close to like 10 years.
Yeah.
In the service industry for a while.
Mm-hmm.
My first job was a pizza boy when I was like 13,
mm-hmm.
you know? But proper bartending probably getting close to like 9-10 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And where'd you start out?
Well, my first real job was at the Sir Francis Drake Hotel.
Nice.
In Union Square, San Francisco.
That must have been a cool experience.
It was amazing, man.
What'd you take away from that?
Everything.
Yeah.
I try to steal as much things as I can.
Well, what was unique about it?
There was a really cool chandelier that I was able to get away.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It was actually, man, I remember the first time I walked into the place. It was absolutely beautiful. The first time I walked into the building, I just started looking up, and there's all this like intricate design and this gold, and I'm walking up to these stairs. It was a lobby bar that I had got an interview to, and just walked in, and it was this small little bar, maybe like 3 of these tables, and that was it. But it was absolutely beautiful. So much history, so many beautiful paintings and chandeliers and stuff, all kinds of stories. It had been open since before or right when Prohibition was hitting. So they had like a secret room where they used to store alcohol. They had like intricate these bellboys had this intricate way of getting alcohol to people's rooms and stuff. It was amazing, man. A lot of cool history.
And where did you go after that?
After that, I went to a few different bars, but the main bar where I really cut my teeth was Cantina in San Francisco, and it wasn't that far. It was only a block away, maybe a half a block away.
Yeah,
you know.
And you were there for a while.
Yeah, I was there for about 3.5 years or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are a couple of iconic places.
Yeah. It was very great places. Great places to cut your teeth. Great city to cut your teeth.
And you moved to Boston.
I did.
What inspired the move?
A bunch of different things actually fell into place. It was when I decided to leave Cantina. I wanted. It's hard to go anywhere else after Cantina.
Yeah.
You know, the things that we were doing there and the type of fun we were having and all the dancing and
Tell
stuff.
me a little bit about that for a second. What makes that place? There's just certain bars that have that magic. What about that place?
It's the culture. It's the culture that you create around you, you know, and how all these people come together. It's not just the bartenders. It's the clientele. Just I mean, you think about bars. Everybody comes from a completely different world, you know, and it's like it's our meeting place, and we all just start to have a party and have fun. Like to me, that's like the success of a bar. You come in, and you know, a lot of bars are very loungy, start off that way, and you know, bars are great places for single people to go to. Like, I mean, people go out in groups and stuff like that, but if you're by yourself, one of the best places to go is a bar because you automatically have someone to talk to. You know, you have a bartender and that's important, like as a bartender to engage, you know, your clientele, but you have that one person to talk to that kind of opens up these doors to all these other single people that are sitting at this bar. And then you start chatting with other people and you basically become friends for the night, you know? And you know, sometimes it extends way past that. But then you create this culture. It starts off loungy, and then the night gets later. More drinks start to go out, and then it gets very explosive. Get some good music, some dancing. Yeah, man.
It's definitely a cultural touchstone for bartending in San Francisco. I was chatting with Duggan the other day, and he was trying to recall all of, you know, the marriages, all of the partnerships, all of these things that sprouted out of, you know, meeting at Cantina, and it was staggering just to hear how many things were born out of that space.
Absolutely.
So cool.
I mean, and on the human level, like I was at a wedding just 2-3 weeks ago from a couple that met at Cantina.
Whoa.
You know, which is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it was cool. We had a little Cantina reunion there too. Saw a lot of people that we hadn't seen in years. Yeah, man.
So
it was amazing.
And then geographic moves are so powerful, you know, they're so powerful. And when you look at, you know, like bands, even, you know, when bands would relocate, it would be a huge change in the direction and trajectory of their career, and it'd really impact their art and their everything. How did moving to Boston affect you as a bartender?
I mean, the world is an inspiring place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no matter where you go, there's so much to take away. There's so much to internalize.
Yeah.
You know, so being in Boston, like, I mean, there's so much inspiration that comes just from meeting people or just being in a completely different city, being yourself in a completely different city, and just seeing how the two kind of, you know, react to each other.
Did it feel like a new canvas for you in a way?
I mean, the world is a canvas.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been moving since I was a little kid, man. I've constantly lived in new places. I went to 4 different high schools.
Oh, wow.
So I'm used to like going to new places and just kind of keeping the circus going, you know. But it's always different in every city, and you know, you go through certain challenges. You go through all kinds of stuff. But being in our industry, like we have one of the most amazing industries.
Yeah.
You know, because our bartenders are so connected, and especially with like because of Tales and stuff like that, you're so connected through other humans in around the world that it makes it a lot easier to get into these communities and stuff. You know, like, you know, my first few days, like going into Boston, I got to go to drink and meet John Gertson and Ezra and all these guys that kind of started introducing me to other bartenders and that sort of thing. So
Boston is stacked for bartenders.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
some really special people there.
Absolutely. Well, we stole John Gertson to San Francisco, which was a big loss for them. But yeah, man, there's some amazing, talented people there, man.
Anything jump out at you that's different about being a Boston bartender versus a San Francisco bartender?
But you know what, man? There's a lot of similarities, actually. Both cities are very well. Boston is very well read. Mm-hmm. You know, their bartenders know the history. They're all about that stuff, and they're about service. They're clean cut bartenders. They're awesome. San Francisco's the same way. They're very, I wouldn't say as read as Boston, but they're very knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of, but where Boston, I think, is more in the means of going towards books, San Francisco's more about practice and learning and hey, a lot of you know, trial, a lot of trial, test things up, see how it works. How can we make this better? How can we do a lot of that? So San Francisco, I think, sometimes pulls a little bit more of innovation, maybe. But even Boston will learn techniques from all sorts of other places and kind of bring it to bartending, which is really cool. You know, I think they're both very smart cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a really cool relationship with Anchor. And I don't know why, but I was just thinking about it. We did a cocktail competition a couple of years ago called Barbary Coast versus Beantown, and it was San Francisco versus Boston. And now you've essentially represented both cities. And, you know, you won that competition with us, and you're going to be working in our tasting room where we are at Tales of the Cocktail right now.
Yeah, I think this will be my third year doing the tasting room.
It's so cool, and I know you really resonate with our team, and we always have a great time with you. We went to Italy together.
Yeah.
We did not get
we almost got kicked out of Italy. I can't believe they let us in the same room together.
I know. Well, my filmmaking collaborator.
This has to be unsanctioned.
Yeah. We're both kind of enablers, and you're like an amplifying enabler. So 3 enablers in one space with too much Amaro Abano, and people will start climbing the walls and literally and especially when you're at what appears to be a retirement resort of sorts.
Oh, that place was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it's because there were
I don't
no
even know how they
fools
let
like
us
us there normally. I'm curious though, in terms of visiting Luxardo, anything stand out to you? Any takeaways from that experience?
Being in the city was amazing. Just Monte Grotto and Abano and all of those places, and just kind of being around the natural world and seeing where some of the herbs come from and that sort of thing. It was really cool to see some of the products that actually aren't released in the U.S. that they just actually even specifically just do in that region for the locals and stuff like that. That was really cool. I love seeing all that, and then Luxardo was really cool because you have like this history that they have, and then all this new technology that's kind of like that blends together, which is really cool.
Yeah, it was that high proof Amaro Abano that they make only for the locals. That's what really
I love that stuff.
I love it a little too much. It's that stuff is not a toy, but we certainly enjoyed a lot of it.
Well,
it's
two bottles down. I mean,
yeah. And the distillery is so tiny.
Yeah,
it's just like this little tiny distillery in the Euganian Hills.
Yeah,
making maraschino for the whole world.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
And you've been traveling elsewhere as well. You've been a bit of a vagabond.
I absolutely.
Where you been?
Well, I've been all around Southeast Asia. I started in Japan.
Nice.
And worked my way down through Southeast Asia. Got down to Australia. Spent some time in Thailand. doing some Muay Thai, which was amazing.
Do you train?
Drink?
Train Muay Thai.
Train? Yeah, a little bit. I got a month intensive in.
Whoa! But did you do it beforehand?
No.
Okay.
No. It was a cool new experience.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. It was awesome.
Those guys are no joke.
No, not at all.
No.
Some of these guys have been training all their life, man.
Oh man, you can go see 6-year-olds fight on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every weekend.
Yeah.
Every weekend.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy, man. That was amazing. And then got to go back to Italy actually, and got to see more than Venice and Montegrotto. Got to start in Milan.
Cool.
Revisit Luxardo, and then work down to like Bologna, Florence, Rome, Naples, where I ate all the pizza. I'm dead serious. Seriously, I ate all. Like, don't even go to Naples anymore. Like, I ate all the pizza. There's none left.
There's none left.
There's none left.
Noted.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
When you're going on a trip like you just described, what's your approach to that? Do you have a very rigid itinerary of I want to hit this place on this day and all this stuff, or do you just kind of go with it? How do you get the most out of it as a bartender?
Well, we're very blessed to be traveling and living at the time that we are, because everything is at the palm of your hands. For me, it was with the wind. I would wake up, I'd wake up, pull out my phone, start searching, see some of the nearby cities, see some of the nearby countries. Like when you're in Southeast Asia, for us, being in San Francisco and California, you drive 6 hours and you're still in California, but being in Southeast Asia, you could be in 3 different countries, so being able to fly just on a whim is amazing, or catching a train. So it's very easy. It's very easy. And then just booking a hotel room or a guest house or anything. People think it's a lot harder, but it's so easy to travel. You have to be ready for it. You have to mentally be ready for it. In every journey, there's always ups, there's always downs, there's always challenges, but there's a lot of reward too. So when I decided to do that, I wanted to keep it very free. I originally went to travel to Japan. That was the only thing that I had in mind, because I wanted to see Japan for like the last 3 years. But I only booked a one-way ticket.
There you go.
So while I was in Japan, I was like, wait, I just left Boston. I got rid of my apartment. I got rid of everything that I had. I don't have to be anywhere. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep traveling. So
were you by yourself?
In the beginning, I was with a group of friends, and then I was by myself, and then with the group of friends. Like, I mean, being a bartender, once again, even not just cities, states, it's like countries. We're very, very well connected, and then you walk into bars and you start chatting with some of the bartenders, and they're like, oh, you're a bartender. Oh yeah, I'm from San Francisco. They're like, San Francisco, oh, I love that place. I was there, blah blah, and it just turns into this whole thing. And then being in Southeast Asia, it's not like, hey, go down the street and check my buddy out, which does happen.
Yeah.
But they're like, hey, 2 countries up is this, like, go check my buddy out at this place and whatever. It's amazing.
Or even better, you go to a bar hanging out with a bartender, and then they're like, "Oh, you're with me the rest of the night."
Well,
and then you just go down
that's
the
not
rabbit hole.
necessarily the best thing, but it's it's life changing.
Yeah, you can see some stuff
Absolutely.
you never see.
Absolutely, go to some amazing bars. I mean, I've met some of my closest friends now from those same exact situations of being in Paris and Southeast Asia and all of that stuff, meeting with bartenders, or even sitting with them, and they're like, tomorrow we're hanging out, we're doing this. Or they're like, hey, I get off in 2 hours, we're going to go to my buddy's bar. And then it just, it changes the amount of days that you're going to stay in a certain country or city. Yeah. So I had to keep it flexible, to what we were talking about earlier. Yeah. It's like you keep it very flexible so you can keep moving and kind of let the world, influence you.
Any drinking experiences really stand out to you from that trip?
All of them.
All of them? Whether it's a bar or any liquid or any producers or...
I mean, that's one of my favorite things about traveling. I mean, seeing the cocktail bars, seeing the regular bars, seeing the cultures, the food, everything. I mean, everything influences you, you know, and you know, understanding like aperitivo in Italy, you know, is absolutely amazing.
It's heavy, right? You can explain it to someone, but until you've been there and experienced it,
like it's a part of life.
Yeah.
You know, we need siesta out here.
Yeah, we do.
That's what we need.
Yes, we do. We most certainly do. That would be very helpful.
Yeah. But even Southeast Asia, and seeing some of the culture, and it's a trip, like depending on the countries that you get into, like the Philippines, for example. Right now, they're all about the speakeasy style, not the whole like 1920s theme, but the fact that you have to find this bar, right? Like one bar that I went to was in the storage room of a 7-Eleven, you know, which is awesome. Especially since I went to the wrong 7-Eleven before going there. I was like, and I'm peeking through the storage room. They're like, "Can I help you?" I was like, "Yeah, is there a bar in here?" But it's awesome. We can't do
Was
that
the
here.
actual bar any good?
Yeah.
In the
yeah,
7-Eleven?
Yeah. Well, not the first one because there was no bar.
No.
but yeah.
How many seats were in it?
No, it was huge. It was a huge space, but the entrance was through
I gotcha.
through the 7-Eleven. It was in a bigger building and stuff. So yeah, it was just this little. It was basically a table like this, me and you, and a guy just pouring shots and looking at you really weird.
Anything go terribly wrong in the best way possible?
Oh man,
Adventures?
adventures with bartenders, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, just a running circus.
Yeah? It just kind of finds you?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I was in Taiwan. Taiwan was amazing, and they're so hospitable. Yeah. Obviously, I don't look like I'm from Taiwan.
And it's an easy country.
It's an easy country.
Yeah.
Easy country. But even just regular people walk up, "Hey, welcome to Taiwan. How can I help you? Where can I lead you to?" Like, want nothing from you but to help you, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So then you have that, and then you go into like the bartender world, and then you have that too. Man,
So cool.
yeah. I got a good buddy that stole me and took me all around different bars, and I remember only portions of the night.
Yeah?
In the best way, worst way possible.
Did you make it to Cavalon?
I didn't. It was a little further than you could go with the public transportation.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half or something out.
Yeah. I wanted to though, but needless to say, that's not going to be my last time in Taiwan.
Gives you a reason to go back.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And we are here at Tales of the Cocktail. Which number is this for you? How many years have you frequented this?
This is number 7.
Number 7.
It's
impressive.
Yeah.
It takes me
Still
a year.
alive.
Yes, right? It takes me a year to recharge before coming back every time, but there's nothing like it.
Yeah. A little gut check.
A little gut check. Indeed. It's just a flurry of activity.
Yeah.
Anything-
Non-stop.
Yeah. How long are you here for?
I'm here for 4 days this year.
Cool.
Yeah, keeping it real light. Usually I'm here for like 7.
No, you're not.
7.
There's nothing light about this.
Well, I mean, the best way to do it is to get out. It's to get out and do some of the normal human stuff. Always have a day to stay in your hotel room and recharge, and then get back and start fighting again.
You're literally not going to feel any better than you feel right now. This is as good as it gets right now. It can only go downhill from here.
I don't know, man. When the nighttime comes, I'm
nutty.
a werewolf, man. I'm looking for the full moon.
Oh, I know. I am well aware. So what's next for you?
The world, man.
The world?
The world. I still have a couple of countries I want to travel to.
Yeah.
And then finding a new city, actually. Finding a new city to start up again and try to build a little culture or
anything on your
get
radar?
influenced by it. You know what, man? I think LA is really hot right now. There's a lot going on there. There's a lot of focus. So that's very enticing. There's a lot of these like mid markets in like the East Coast and and stuff going on. Austin's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, I've got some good buddies that keep on trying to pull me over there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But maybe another country, you know?
Yeah.
Singapore's really hot too. A lot of people are focused on that. Although now it's starting to go out to other parts of Southeast Asia. There's some really cool people doing stuff in Cambodia.
Yeah.
There's, like I mentioned, the Philippines is really cool. Hong Kong is crazy, you know? And there's a lot of opportunity. They're looking for talent. There's some good guys doing stuff in Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
What really inspires you about an opportunity? What gets you all excited?
It's so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just love, I love learning. I love learning, and I love being inspired by different cultures, and I love to just immerse myself in a whole new world. Basically, jump into the deep end and then see if I can swim out. You know,
That's one way to do it.
Keep it completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Sees like new challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. New challenges, new things, you know. I think that's the best way to develop, man. You can't sit in one place and expect to, you know, become very innovative. You know, I think that's the biggest thing for me, is that as soon as I start getting comfortable, like, I know it's time for me to go and keep it moving. You know, because at that point, you know, you're not learning anything. What's the point of spending 5 years doing the same thing? You know, why not put some challenges in front of you and allow yourself to develop, you know? So I stay like a little kid, man.
Awesome.
I'm a kid at heart.
Yeah.
I want to keep learning. I want to keep doing as much as I can and causing as much trouble as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself setting up your own bar just from start to finish?
At some point.
Yeah.
At some point, but you know, having a bar is like having a baby.
Yeah.
You got to stay in one place, and you got to focus a lot on it, you know?
Yeah.
And that comes the same with every other, you know, every other project that I do anyways. You know, my days are like 16-hour days.
Yeah.
You know, 7 days a week. It's nonstop. But for me, like, I love it. Like, it's what I do. It's like, all of us, you know, we spend that much time into that. And I think it makes sense to do your own stuff at the end of the day, you know, but it's finding the right place to settle down and do it. Yeah. You know, and for me, like, I don't just want one. I want to do a bunch of different stuff. You know, I have so many different concepts and stuff that I'd like to develop. And you know, and every time I travel, it just creates even more and more and more. You know, I mean, so much inspiration in Italy, so much in Southeast Asia, and like Australia.
Yeah.
Man. And all those places are killing it, man.
Yeah.
They're killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to like check out the 50 best bars in the world list every year, and it just gets more diverse with all these places that you wouldn't think.
And it's crazy to see some of the places that have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah.
They've been doing the same thing, and they're still like, they blow your mind. It's cool, man. It's amazing.
Definitely. And I always love, you know, traveling with you, hanging out with you, because, man, you're a lot of fun. And like, you always bring the enthusiasm. You always bring just fun to everything. How have you stayed true to yourself as you've grown and evolved as a person and a bartender, and just made it all work as a professional?
Was extroverted as I am. I'm a very, very introverted person. Like I think a lot, and I constantly assess myself, and I constantly, you know, ask myself how I feel. Why do I feel like this? You know, like I believe it or not, I do get grouchy sometimes. You know, and I'll ask myself, I'll be like, why are you grouchy right now? Like, what's bothering you? Yeah. It's like, oh, there's a piece of corn in my teeth. I gotta take that. You know, or whatever. You know, it's constantly just asking yourself and letting the world kind of like, you know, because being free and allowing the world to kind of influence you, it'll influence you in a bunch of different ways. And sometimes that's fire. And it's fire, and it helps you go in certain directions. Yeah. You know, but I think at the end of the day, you have to be true to yourself. And it's the only way you're going to be happy. It doesn't matter if you're as far as bartending, if you're running the most amazing program in the world, or if it's just a little bar in a little corner of a city that nobody goes to, you know, if you're happy and life is good, I mean, and life is amazing.
It's pretty fun.
You know, it just depends on how you treat it. You know, it'll treat you back the same way that you treat it. And you can do anything. Yeah. And being true to yourself, I think, is the most important, because it's the only way that you can give your best to everybody else. You know, you got to keep yourself happy. You got to, you know, you're a machine. You got to keep, you know, you got to change the oil every once in a while. You got to, you know, you got to take care of yourself. You got to be happy.
And what does success look like for you, you know, as you look at your career and where you're headed and what you want to accomplish? When you look back, when your career is finished, what do you hope to accomplish, and what does that success look like in your eyes?
It's tough. It's a bunch of different things. For me, like this last 6 months of just being free and traveling is a huge success to me. You know, because I just love to travel and exploring new things. But like professionally, I think it's creating stuff that challenges people to create new things, you know, because at the end of the day, nothing is stagnant. Nothing stays the same. We're constantly evolving, you know. So being in a place where you can help other people evolve and stuff like that, you know, everybody talks about bartenders and, you know, we're not changing the world. We're just bartending. But I think that's full of shit. I think it's absolutely full of shit, because we bring people into our places from all around the world. And not only that, but we also have, like, if you're running programs or if you own a place, like, you have a staff that you can influence to do amazing things, and not just in the bartending world, but in their lives. You know what I mean? So if you feel like, oh yeah, we're not just changing the world, we're just pouring drinks, that's fine. Maybe you should look at a different profession. You know what I mean? But if you give your all to something, it'll give it right back to you. Like, I love seeing people that I used to work with or that I've trained and seeing some of the things that they've done, you know? And for me, like, even just developing this stuff, man, to me, that's a success, you know, is how many people that you can influence, how many, you know, the cultures that you create in your community and that sort of thing. And the stories that people can talk about and not talk about, you know, like, to me, those are amazing.
And what's your approach to developing bartenders that are learning from you on your teams?
I tell them, don't be like me. You're gonna need a lawyer. You're gonna need. It's being true to them. It's being true to them, and I think it's different with everybody. Yeah, it's different with everybody, and I think paying attention is really important. Because certain people will respond in a lot of different ways, and sometimes you have to be a little tough on some of your bartenders, and sometimes you have to be really nice with some of your bartenders. You know, it depends on the personality, and then you also have to know what they want and what they look for and where they want to develop to. You know, do they want to stay in this industry? Do they just want to make a few bucks? Do they whatever? You know, and then and being okay with it. You know, there are people that are in this industry that just want to make money and do the thing, and that's fine. You know, is you have to be true to the people on your staff and who they are, and same with your clientele, man. Like, you have, to me, the key word is genuine. You have to be genuine with everybody. You know, which is a little tough, because I don't tell people to smile when they don't want to smile. You know what I mean? Like, it's an interesting topic. We can go on like forever about it, but I think.
But it sounds like it's something that you've given a considerable amount of thought to and are very deliberate about in your approach.
Absolutely, I think just being genuine is very important. You know, because
it's also one of those things that people might write off as being obvious.
Yeah,
and they wouldn't pay attention to.
Yeah, I mean, I can walk into a restaurant and it can be absolutely seamless and you know, hand over foot, the service and all that, and I can still feel uncomfortable. Yeah, you know, rather than, you know, belling up to a bar where a bartender says, "Go fuck yourself," and I'm like, "This is the best bar in the world."
It's so true.
You know.
Yeah,
it's that genuineness that you share with other humans. I think that's very important. You know, because it's not it's not practiced.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something that you had to think about.
Yeah.
To talk to somebody, like you didn't write down this. You're saying the same exact thing to every single person that walks into the door. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not about that.
Yeah.
I want to meet people. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to stay in this bartending world. It can go in a million different directions. You know, being genuine.
The bar that did what you're talking about to me recently, it just broke me in the best way possible. Herbs and Rye.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Vegas.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just crush it, you know? And there's so many bars out there that really do what you're talking about. And when you get to experience it, it's just such a magical thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I know you bring that enthusiasm and mindfulness to everything that you do. So
absolutely.
Thank you for being so awesome.
Hey, man.
No, I know everyone has a tremendous amount of respect for you, and really glad that you could be a part of our team again this year at Tails. And I know our paths will cross many, many more times
Absolutely.
in the future. So for now, to the future.